Hey, what's up, guys? This is Neil, one half of Third Eye Illuminated. My buddy Cody can't make it for our first inaugural show. He's on a sabbatical at the moment, and we are separated, and we can't be together to do this together. So I just felt like it was time to finally get our channel going. Me and him were kind of waiting on some equipment, some editing software, and things of that nature. But I got my some of my stuff, some of my equipment, and soon enough I'll be ready to produce some videos. Basically, I wanted to talk about our channel and some current events, and what our channel's about and what we want to do, our vision for the channel. We're just two regular guys. We're interested in all kinds of different topics and subjects, and just a plethora of things that we're interested in. And I kind of didn't want to limit our channel to be about one thing specifically. I don't want to box us in, and not only that, I want to be entertaining to the audience. I want my point is to entertain and inform, and I think that's when you can do those two things. I think it's a win-win. Moving on, though, I see a lot of truthers and YouTubers and the whole movement, and there's so many people doing it now, and it's kind of getting convoluted. The waters are getting muddy, and it's kind of funny because I think the truth movement on YouTube, as the truth movement in general, I think it's being hijacked, and I definitely think it's being hijacked for a reason. While there is a lot of legitimate YouTubers and a lot of legitimate truthers, everything's getting so convoluted and misguided that people are getting to the point where they don't know who or what to believe. There's inner fighting on YouTube amongst all these truthers. A lot of people are calling each other shills, government agents, psychological, paid shills, basically, psychological operations, just things like that. It is getting convoluted. It's getting muddy. Everybody seems to be shitting on everybody's credibility, the legitimacy of their content. Just a lot of people are even copycatting other YouTubers. It's interesting to watch. There's a few users and channels that I'm interested in, that I'm a fan of. I like to listen to Yash Kara. He's on YouTube and Spreaker, and I think he's on Blog Talk Radio too. I'm not sure, but he's a pretty cool guy. He's a fellow Coloradan guy like me. Mark Passio, I have a lot of influences by him, and I do enjoy a lot of his work. I think he's got a large body of work, and he's actually kind of taken a back seat lately, as it seems, to the truth movement. I think he's kind of done with it, in a sense that, not done with it, but he wants to let others kind of take the helm. And I think maybe he doesn't want to do it unless the energy and the motivation's there. And I think he's just taking a step back, and which is cool. I mean, you need to recharge those batteries, and you need to come with something, some energy to do it. So those are just a few people that I like. But getting down to the truth movement, I don't think it's doing very well at the moment. People, I see a lot of videos, and it's always about the New World Order, the Illuminati, which government entities doing this, FEMA camps, microchips, Armageddon, Donald Trump's the Antichrist, Obama's the Antichrist. And, I think videos like that, while I do think that there is a hierarchy for sure, there's totally a hierarchy in society. I mean, it's really obviously evident. And if you think with common sense, of course there would be a control system. There's going to be a hierarchy, just like a corporation or, a system of organization. Even back in the day before government and before, corporations and all that, humans would organize themselves within hierarchy. We would form tribes. We would have elders, we would have tribal leaders, and we would have a chief. We would have things like that. And it seems to me that humans love hierarchy. They love to go into that kind of system. And so when you apply that to, America and the world, of course there's going to be a small group of people who would definitely have the most influence and pull, as you would say, power to influence and control things. But the thing is all these videos, they don't really accomplish anything. There's no, you can inform all the people that you want, but what's it really going to do? The thing about it is the hierarchy, the people on top who are in control know human nature. They're extremely smart. They're very, 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 very intelligent. A couple dudes on YouTube, or a couple dudes that have websites or write books, that's not going to be enough to overthrow the power structure or the hierarchy. It just isn't going to happen. They're masters of manipulation. They're masters of understanding human nature. And, a lot of these truthers don't point out the fact that, in a sense, the average human is actually your worst enemy, in a sense. Meaning, the herd can't really think for themselves. They're so easily manipulated. And what's funny is you have all these truthers going around trying to wake up people and trying to inform people when they're just genetically, they're not capable of. They're followers. I mean, look at the animal world. You have, like an ant colony, you have millions of ants that go along, and they're just drones. And I kind of, when you look at the human race, looking, if you can separate yourself and look at us on that kind of, how we're organized, you got a slave of workers, and then you got, the higher up the food chain, you got a bunch of shot callers. And that's really what I kind of see it as. And the slave workers, the human slave herd sheeple motherfuckers, they can't think for themselves. And when you try spitting out knowledge and you try to say, oh no, there's something deeper than what's at the surface level, they look at you and think you're crazy. You get ostracized. You get labeled eccentric. You get labeled, as weird. You're ousted. You're ousted in the mainstream. And it's really interesting to watch, humans and the way they think and act. It's like you got a lot of hipsters and hippies, and they're supposedly going against the mainstream, but then what happens is, like, all these groups of people and all these cliques, they start forming their own archetype. It's like you got these college vegan leftists, they all, they want to use natural soaps, they don't shave, they don't use deodorant, they're all against, using animal products. But the thing is all these people, they start forming their own archetypes where you can easily identify them, and then they think they're individuals, but they're not. It's like society propagates this false sense of individualism, and they perpetuate it. And the New World Order, they know this, they understand the human psyche, they're masters of it. So when you see all the checkerboards and all the symbolism and all the shit that you see in some of these videos, they don't touch, they talk about duality, but a lot of people don't really know what duality is. Like you got the black tile and the white tile. What that duality represents, it represents different ends of the thinking spectrum. You know, it's kind of, you can kind of see in politics, you know, you got leftist politics and you got rightist politics. But what nobody tells you, the reason why they're always, you know, flashing those tiles is because people who are enlightened or illuminated, they're masters of not being dualistic. They've mastered both tiles in a sense. Like they can use their mind fully. And that's why they're always throwing it in people's face, which means they're not too left brain, they're not too right brain. They're in perfect harmony with their brains. And we're you know, I'm not trying to say that I'm in support of the New World Order, but in a sense, the people who are speaking out against it, speaking out against the hierarchy, don't understand why the hierarchy keeps things the way they do. It's because the people up top know that the average herd, sheeple, human, they can't understand those concepts. They can't even understand it. They have to be either left or right brained. So rather than trying to go around and convince people, you know, and inform, they just rather manipulate and control things. And that's why the world is the way it is. And truthers, they just don't point this out. They don't get it. In a sense, if it wasn't for the New World Order, things would actually probably be pretty chaotic in a sense. Because if you leave the herd sheep, you know, you give them the control, they're just going to fuck everything up. I mean, you know, you never underestimate mass stupidity. I mean, you've seen it. So, I mean, look at the LA riots. You know, look at Katrina. Look at all, you know, just this stupidity that went along when you got a large group of idiots. You just cannot underestimate it. So the reason why the structure and the hierarchy is in place is to keep all these fucking idiots in check. And then where the mistake that truthers make, in my opinion, is they think that they can change a sheep or you know, the herd into a free-thinking individual, when that's just never going to happen. You know, it's strange. You know, it's kind of like prison. You know, when you go into prison, you're either going to be a bitch or you're going to be a wolf. You know, it's just like whatever your true nature is. And a lot of people don't understand themselves. They don't know thyself, as some people would say. And that's just how I view it. A lot of people would call me a government stooge, shill, or whatever for pointing these things out. But that's what's really, in my mind, what's up. After all the videos and reading and lectures and bullshit that I've read, you know, I've come to this conclusion. You know, you can dislike my comments, you can dislike my channel, you know, give me a thumbs down, but that's the truth as I see it. Now, does that mean I'm in support of the New World Order? Not necessarily, no. I understand why it's there, and I think people should understand why it's there, why that hierarchy is in place. Where I disagree with the New World Order is maybe I don't approve of some of their methods, and you know, and mass killing. But also keep in mind that the system, the hierarchy, is set up for collapse. What they like to do is they prop up a system that's designed to fail. And in this way, it keeps balance, or in their mind, it restores order. You know, like right now, the Earth has got, you know, roughly 7 billion people. And definitely, the system's kind of grinding to a halt. Resources are getting low. Oil is getting, you know, scarce. Not that we got plenty of oil. It's not even really that. It's just that it's getting harder to refine. So, and then we got inflation. You know, the economy's out of control. So the best case scenario for the elite in the hierarchy to fix this is to have a big massive world war, and we're due up for it. You know, and a lot of channels talk about this. You know, I can't give a prediction, but definitely, you know, the universe, as it seems, is always kind of predicated towards destruction. You know, the fall of Rome. I mean, like I said earlier, history repeats itself, but the system is designed to fail. And a lot of it has to do with humans do not want to put in their own energy. You know, like deer in the forest, right? You know, the forest kind of regulates the population. And a lot of times what happens is the deer overpopulate, and then they starve to death, or in turn, you know, studies have shown overpopulation can actually cause a massive die-off. So in a way, hunting is good for the deer population in the United States. And what's scary is that's the exact mindset of what the hierarchy and the elite think. That's what they look at you as. Could there be a more perfect system? For sure. There could be a definite way to do things better. But the problem is, and here's the real problem, and I don't see any truthers ever addressing it, is how do you get the herd sheep to quit basically doing the shit that they do? You know, they go along with the hierarchy. If people were all individuals and all free thinkers, then the hierarchy wouldn't exist in the first place. You know, the structure would get broken down pretty quickly because everybody involved would be like, well, fuck this. I'm all about being an individual and having rights and having freedom and all that good stuff that we kind of generally do enjoy, but in a controlled, manipulated way. I mean, we're free to do certain things, but the government does control things to the nth degree. We don't have ultimate freedom. We only got kind of an illusion of it. Anyway, that's all I kind of really wanted to touch on this first show. Leave some comments, tell me what you think. Hopefully this will get some views. I'm going to try to come out with as much content that I possibly can, with my work schedule and all. Thanks for listening. You guys have a good one, and stay tuned. Bye-bye.